Mega Crabominable is a brand new Mega Evolution from Pokemon ZA available for the first time in VGC in Pokemon Champions, and it was able to finish in the top 300, which was the Champions tier of the last Stadium Ladder season. We're going to be trying out Mega Crabominable Sun and seeing how well it can perform. This is a Sun Room team that features dual Mega, especially with that Mega Crabominable. Let's break it down. First Pokemon we have is going to be the Mega Crabominable, and this Pokemon is a huge threat under Trick Room with really slow speed and really great coverage across the board with the Hyper Cutter ability, which prevents it from getting affected by Intimidate attack drops at the start, and then when it Mega Evolves does get access to Iron Fist to power up its punching moves, it can be a really powerful sweeper. Ice Hammer is a really strong ice type move that also lowers the speed of the Crabominable, so if you do find an opposing Trick Room team, it could take advantage of that. But otherwise, you also have Drain Punch for the recovery, which is also super strong off the Iron Fist, and recovers the Crab, which is really nice. And then Thunder Punch to be able to hit Pokemon like the Charizard as well as the Basculegion. It's a pretty simple Crab spread, just max HP and max attack, really designed to do as much damage as it possibly can while those Trick Room turns are up. And in order to set up Trick Room, we have the Cobra Berry Farigiraf. And Cobra Berry Farigiraf is going to be able to help out against those super effective dark type moves, especially a boosted Kingambit Kowtow Cleave, which can be a little bit scary. With the Armor Tail ability, which prevents any priority moves, which is really useful against like Fake Out, some really strong ones like Extreme Speed or Bullet Punch that can clean up weakened foes in Trick Room. It is really solid. So we have Psychic, Helping Hand, Sunny Day, and Trick Room. Of course, you want Trick Room to reverse the speed order on the field. Sunny Day, which is going to be able to set up the sun, which is great in Weather Wars, especially against the rain teams in general. So you don't have to hard switch Torkoal and risk taking a bunch of damage, which is super solid. Helping Hand, which is really great to power up the allies' attack power, and the Psychic for dishing out damage into Sneasler, Glamora, and just good consistent damage across the board. EV spread wise, we have a max HP Farigiraf with a good amount of physical defense just to be able to tank attacks really well, especially those physical hits like Kingambit, Kowtow, Cleave, and more, and then the rest going into special defense. Next Pokemon on the team is going to be the Torkoal with the Charcoal to power up its fire type moves with the Drought ability, which summons the sun, and that will allow Torkoal to dish out really heavy damage with the Eruption and Heat Wave, which are spread fire type moves, Solar Beam, which is going to be the grass type move to help out against the bulky waters, still hitting Rotom Wash as well as Basculegion, hits Tyranitar and more, and then Protect to keep itself around. It's pretty simple. It is going to be a max HP and a max special attack variant. It is primary dishing out a ton of damage. Having weather control on a team is really nice, and it is going to be able to effectively sweep, especially with Helping Hand support from the Farigiraf with the Eruption. Torkoal can be a pretty big threat under that Trick Room. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Focus Sash Venusaur, and this Focus Sash Venusaur with the Chlorophyll ability, which is going to double the speed of the Venusaur while the sun is up, is pretty nice. However, you might notice that it is not running max speed and max special attack for Focus Sash mod. It's actually running quite a bit of defense to be able to live like dual Wing Beat from regular Aerodactyl, which is pretty interesting, and can live some triple axle combinations from Serenas depending on their EV spread. So we have Sludge Bomb, Sleep Powder, Energy Ball, and Protect. Pretty standard Venusaur damage output wise, lacking a bit of the Earth Power, running Energy Ball for just a stronger grass type move. That's a bit more consistent than like Leaf Storm, as well as just like being able to fire up multiple Energy Balls in a row is really nice. And of course, Sleep Powder with Fast Disruption can be very annoying for some teams to handle. And this Venusaur, you don't really need too much speed. You're still able to outspeed a lot of the Pokemon in the format with the Chlorophyll, doubling the speed, allowing you to outspeed a lot of the Choice Scarf Bonds in the format. Yeah, it's a super threatening one and still able to do a good amount of damage thanks to running Max Modest with the investment, and hits pretty hard with the coverage that it has access to. Grass and Poison is pretty nice in this format. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Mega Aerodactyl. So this is going to be dual Mega on this team because you do kind of need a way to threaten the Charizard Y outside of Trick Room, because that Pokemon is still pretty demonic to handle, especially because your lead, if you go Trick Room, is still like taking a lot of damage from a sun boosted Heat Wave. So we have this Mega Aerodactyl, which is pretty nice. It's also really solid into the combination of both the Garchomp as well as the Charizard team. So you have access to the Rock Slide, the dual Wing Beat, which is really nice flying coverage in general. Ice Fang, which is super solid as well to be able to hit those Garchomps. You don't really need Tailwind on this team because it's a pretty slow team outside the Venusaur. and Protect to keep itself around. Unnerve, the ability of choice, because when Aerodactyl's in its regular form, it will be able to prevent the opponent from eating the berries. And then when it Mega Evolves, it does get access to Tough Claws, which does power up the dual Wing Beats and the Ice Fang. E-Spread wise, pretty simple. It is going to be just a max speed and max attack for just getting a maximum amount of damage output you do have. You could lead something like the Ferrograph plus the Aerodactyl and dish out a huge amount of damage with Helping Hand and get a KO, which is really solid. And yeah, it does allow this team to be able to have dual mega options even if you are not playing under Trick Room. Final Pokemon on this team is going to be the Citrus Berry Incineroar, and it's a pretty classic Incineroar. What to say about it? It is going to have the Intimidate ability, which is able to lower the attack stat of both Pokemon on the opposing side of this field whenever Incineroar switches in. And the only difference is this is going to be a bit more of an offensive Incineroar, going to be running a close combat that we've seen on the hard Trick Room teams to be able to hit Pokemon like opposing Incineroar, some King Gambits that are like Black Glasses, and a few others like Tyranitar as well. We have a pretty simple Incineroar with just max HP and max attack, and then running a bit of speed because it's able to speed creep like a few of the other Trick Room Incineroars, as well as some of the King Gambits as well. You can actually outspeed like the really slow King Gambits and then get a Flare Blitz or close combat off. So that's kind of the idea with this Incineroar, just being able to hit hard and support the team with Fake Out to enable setting up the Trick Room. So how to use the team? Well, a lot of it is mainly setting up that Trick Room. You want to be able to get that Trick Room set up with the Ferrograph, so you're able to sweep with your offensive sweepers, which are going to be the Torkoal, the Crab, and the Incineroar. So you want to figure out how to set up the Trick Room generally. I'd say Ferrograph is pretty much almost always leading because you do want to try to set up the Trick Room as much as possible, where you lead like Ferrograph plus the Incineroar, where you have the Fake Out, the Intimidate support. You're able to threaten King Gambits and really fire off some pretty strong damage with the Incineroar immediately. Or you can lead anything else with the Ferrograph. You can also lead it with the Venusaur, which is also another pretty common lead. Ferrograph plus Venusaur can be really nice with the fast Sleep Powder from the Venusaur, which can make it pretty disruptive, so you can actually buy turns by setting up the Trick Room after getting this sleep and then just dishing out some pretty solid chip damage, or getting a free switch to Crab if your opponent is napping. You also have a few other combinations that you can do with Ferrograph as well. Aerodactyl is a pretty decent one because Aerodactyl plus Ferrograph, you could go for like the Mega Evolution with Aerodactyl and go for a Helping Hand and get some surprise knockouts with the powerful Rock Slide, Dual Wing Beats, or Ice Fang, which will actually do a ton of damage. But otherwise, you do want to try to set up for the Crab in the back usually, because Crab is one of the best options that this team does have access to because of its really great coverage in general, especially that Drain Punch into opposing Incineroars, which otherwise team doesn't have the best ways of covering it. And then Ice Hammer, of course, for like a lot of common Pokemon in this format, like the Garchomp, a lot of Dragons, Flyings, and more. And Thunder Punch for the Basket Legion is always helpful too. So I'd say Ferrograph, Incin, Ferrograph, Venusaur, Ferrograph, Aerodactyl are pretty good ones. But of course, if you are going Ferrograph, Aerodactyl, you don't have to Mega Evolve Aerodactyl. You could keep it around, so you could just threaten Charizards, so the Crab can come in under Trick Room and still sweep. So that's also an idea. Of course, you have a few other leads that you could go for. Incineroar, Aerodactyl is pretty decent as a, of course, Intimidate, Fake Out, and then fast damage with Aerodactyl. Torkoal, Venusaur is always an option for the fast Sleep Powder mode, which is pretty solid. And those would probably be your main ones, but a lot of the game plan, again, is trying to sweep under Trick Room usually with Incineroar, the Crab, or the Torkoal. And then you could also try to bring Aerodactyl in the back, because Aerodactyl could maybe sweep some weakened foes after Trick Room is stalled out. So that's also an option as well. If you'd like to check out the details of the team in the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. But otherwise, let's get started and play some games with Crab. All right, we have Aerodactyl, Garchomp, the Charizard, Sylveon, Basket Legion, and the King Gambit. So here's someone I lead here. There's like quite a few things I could go. Of course, I could lead Incineroar, but I don't think I need to lead Incineroar in this game. I'm debating about leading Ferrograph, Venusaur actually, because it doesn't seem like a bad lead here. Do I even like Torkoal in this matchup? It doesn't even do that much, realistically. There's a bunch of fire resist on this team. I could bring Aerodactyl. I don't think I'm going to plan to Mega Evolve Aerodactyl, but it could be useful just because in endgame scenario, endgame Rock Slide looks pretty strong here. I think I'm going to do Venusaur Ferrograph. I don't think I really need Incin. I'm going to try to sweep with the Crab, and if I can't sweep with the Crab, Aerodactyl will be my endgame scenario, especially against the Charizard, so I think that's okay. Because they don't really have a great way of stopping Trick Room other than like flinching it, which of course is always going to be the case, but hey, what can you do? I do have Sleep Powder on the Venusaur, which can buy me some turns to actually set up the Trick Room. and maybe utilize some damage output. We'll find out. If they lead Charizard, I'm willing to go for Sleep Powder, switch to Aerodactyl, which seems pretty strong here. Let's see what my opponent decides to do. What will be your lead of choice? King Gambit Sylveon. Okay, so I'm not like too surprised about this lead because I can go for like Sludge Bomb Protect. Or I guess I don't have Protect, huh? I can go for Helping Hand Sludge Bomb, which is also a play. It's not a terrible play. Helping Hand Sludge Bomb probably knocks out the Sylveon, and they probably know Sleep Powder could come out their way. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna Helping Hand Sludge Bomb and try to get rid of the Sylveon. Because Sylveon is hard to switch into for my team, so I will go for the Helping Hand Sludge Bomb attempt. Let's see what they decide to go for. Alright. We KO the Sylveon. Beautiful. Alright, so that's a great step. I wasn't sure if the Sylveon could potentially live, but we'll take it for sure. And we're going to see Kowtow into the Giraffe, but we do have that Cobra Berry. So now we can go for a Sleep Powder plus a Trick Room attempt the upcoming turn. And that's pretty nice. We get rid of Sylveon. Huge threat to me trying to switch into Crab. And we'll see what the rest comes out. My only problem is the King Gambit could still be annoying, but granted, I feel like we're in a pretty okay spot. The thing is, I guess if Charizard comes in, they can go for Weather Ball plus Kowtow, and I can't stop it. So I think my best play here is probably just to go for a Sleep Powder into the King Gambit and probably go out into the Aerodactyl. Yeah, it's still going to be tricky, but we can still play around this regardless. They have to Mega Evolve if they want the KO, but they could, I guess, not Mega Evolve. That's also an option, but we'll see. Gonna bring out the Aerodactyl. It also helps, I guess, if it's a Nerve King Gambit, but yeah. Idea here is to Sleep Powder, of course, the King Gambit, and then pressure the Charizard the next turn with Rock Slide, I think is going to be the call here. Alright, Drought is active. We do land the Sleep Powder and the King Gambit, so that's nice, okay. And they go for Heat Wave into my Venusaur, and I'm in an okay spot, alright. Nice. No. I also surprised at Heat Wave because I think I would have lived Heat Wave. I was more scared of Weather Ball. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have Earth Power here. Earth Power would have been nice. It's probably or Basque Legion back, so I gotta figure out how I get Trick Room up again. They did give me the Chlorophyll though, which is nice. I think I just attempt to Sleep Powder the Charizard, and I think I just go for a Protect with Aerodactyl. I'm pretty sure. Or I could Energy Ball the Gambit as well. Do I risk that? I think I just Sleep Powder Protect. I think it kind of covers a lot of angles. Let's see. We protect Aerodactyl as Charizard protects, yep, because they're scared of the Rock Slide. I don't know if they're targeting the Aerodactyl or they're targeting the Venusaur. They went for Sucker Punch, which is interesting. So I wonder if I could go for Rigraff and click Rock Slide here, which I am going to go for. The only thing is this endgame could get still really scary because of the Basque. I don't know what the Basque item is, and if they decide to Iron Head this time, it's a bit concerning, but I'm going to go out and I know they're guaranteed to awake with the King Gambit, so let's see. They could Kowtow, but they Sucker Punch instead. Okay, I do get a Rock Slide off. Ideally connect with the Charizard. Nice. That does KO. Alright, so Charizard goes down. The problem is, can I beat the remaining? I also don't know if the King Gambit has Iron Head, which is a big question. If it's Scarf Basque, I think I'm in a really good spot to win. If it's Aerodactyl, this is a weird endgame. Okay. Well, we're gonna attempt a Trick Room here. The endgame is really weird. And I mean really weird. I am max speed, We could get a Rock Slide flinch. I think I just spam Rock Slide plus Attempted Trick Room. I do win a potential speed tie, get a Rock Slide. That's bulky Aerodactyl. Okay. They get their Rock Slide off, but we dodge with our Aerodactyl. I don't know if I want that. Depends on where the King Gambit targeted. Okay, they did target the Giraffe. Huh. Am I Mega Evolving the Aerodactyl instead of the Crab, but still trying to set up for Crab endgame? It might be. I think I go Venusaur. The question is, are they going to protect or not? Is it the last turn of Sun or is there one more? One more turn of Sun. Do I think Aerodactyl can live Sucker Punch at this range? I think it can. If I Mega Evolve, it definitely can. I think my best play is probably just a Sleep Powder attempt at the King Gambit. Or I could go for Energy Ball into Arrow. I just don't know if Arrow protects. I think I want Energy Ball plus Protect. Because I don't think they ever Sucker Punch the Venu. Would you ever Sucker Punch the Venu when Sleep Powder can come out? I feel like you're either going to Protect to stall out the Sun turns, or you're going to just go for the Arrow. They went for Wide Guard. Why did they go for Wide Guard? Oh, to cover for Rock Slide. Okay, but I do get the Energy Ball off into the Arrow. I guess I could have went for Ice Fang, because I did have Ice Fang, but that works out. Did they kowtow to Venu? No, they did target the Arrow, and they do have the Iron Head. Okay. I want them to KO the Arrow, so I get the free switch, because I'm pretty sure if I Mega Evolve a Crab, I live one Iron Head. So that's kind of been my goal this entire time. So we're going to go for Dual Wing Beat. Just for the damage in the King Gambit, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's already in Drain Punch range, even if it's Chople. All I need is Venu to have Sleep Powder attempt. They might also just, like, avoid targeting the Arrow just in general, which I could definitely see. I think that's reasonable. But let's see. Okay, perfect. They targeted down the Arrow. So now I get an opportunity to hit Sleep Powder into the Gambit, but I also get an opportunity to hit Drain Punch. Basically, all I need is if I land a Sleep Powder, I win the game guaranteed. If I don't get Iron Head flinched or crit, I win the game, I think, guaranteed with Crap. So that's kind of what I've been trying to set up for. So we're going to go for Sleep Powder, and we're going to go for the Drain Punch into the Crab. I didn't think they would ever Sucker Punch a Venu there because of the fact that I could just spam Sleep Powder in the Gambit. So I felt like this was worth it. I understood what they were going for. They dodged a Rock Slide, knocking out the Aerodactyl. Then they could play for a one-turn sleep with the King Gambit. So I definitely saw what they were going for. I could have went for Dual Wing because I was fine trading the Arrow. But yeah, this works out. I do hit the Sleep Powder, so that guarantees the game because now I get a Drain Punch off into the King Gambit. So nice. A bit of a messy game for sure. But we will take the win there. 100%, as Drain Punch will KO the King Gambit and take the knockout. Beautiful. So Crab will clean up the game in the end. Even though we never got Trick Room up this game, which was really weird, we were able to succeed, thankfully. And that's kind of things. If you don't get Trick Room up, it's kind of hard to position sometimes when setting up for the Crab, because Crab has a lot of weaknesses. It can't switch in easily. All right, we have Pelipper, Dragonite, Gengar, Sableye, Sinistra, and Archaludon. All right, so what am I going here? What do I want to go here? I could go with Sunny Day Farig will be good in this matchup. Am I leading Instant? I just think Instant's not even good against this team. There's like no physical attackers on this team other than maybe Dragonite. Everything is special. It could be Gravity Hypnosis, which this is going to be pretty annoying if it is. I think it's either Farigiraf plus Venusaur or Venus or Incineroar. I think Farigiraf should lead though. I just really don't like Incineroar against this team in general. It only helps out against like 2 Pokemon. So I think I bring Venusaur. I think I definitely bring the Crab, and then last Pokemon. Is it the Torkoal? I think so for the For the offense, it's actually funny because I do have a play turn 1. If they decide, hey, I'm going to set up gravity turn 1, is I could go to Torkoal, click Sleep Powder. But the problem is then next turn I get trapped in and then Rain Dance can happen. So I don't think that's a play. Archaludon plus Dragonite. Okay, that's fine by me. Farigiraf and Venusaur. So I think here... I mean, it's just really awkward to position the Crab. Ideally, I can get a free swap, but I'm not 100% certain. I think I'm just going to go for a Psychic into the Dragonite, and I'm going to go for a Sleep Powder attempt into the Archaludon. Because I'd actually rather Venusaur goes down and I get a free switch to Crab. Though it's not easy to beat this Archaludon, realistically. In general, I want to break the multi-scale. I want to make sure I have as many turns of Trick Room as I can to be able to beat this team. Step 1 is to break a potential multi-scale on the Dragonite. Granted, they could have Sinistra in the back, but I think they would probably want to switch out the Archaludon slot. Well, I guess breaking multi-scale isn't like crazy helpful. I do get the Sleep Powder off into the Archaludon. Also, the Dragonite's slower than my Venu, but I can't switch into Hurricane at all. And I'm not risking that. Psychic. Oh, it's like a Whirlwind or some crazy tech. Dragon Tail. Yeah, okay. I was about to say, there's no way it should be slower then. Who am I being brought out? Is it the Crab? Torkoal is actually kind of interesting here. Okay. Torkoal is 100% very interesting here because I can go Crab or I can go out into the Farigiraf. You don't Hurricane the Torkoal ever. I think I'm just going to go Crab and I'm going to attempt to Sleep Powder the Dragonite. The thing is, I'm in the constant loop against this Dragon Tail Dragonite because every time it will be able to Dragon Tail my Farigiraf. So I have to hope for a 2-turn sleep on the Dragonite anyway. They actually switch out Archaludon, which is kind of massive for me. Okay, into Pelipper. Does that mean they Hurricane the Venu? If they Hurricane the Venu, this is really good for me. But if they Hurricane the Torkoal, this is awful. But I imagine you would target down the Pokemon that can Sleep Powder you twice. Nice. If we hit the Sleep Powder, we're in a good spot. Okay, Focus Sash active. Oh no. Well, what can you do in some games? Now I gotta get a 50 right of whether they Hurricane the Crab with the Dragonite or they Dragon Tail. Because Protect's Trick Room is an option, but it's just like a read here. Of course, I have to land a Sleep Powder too, but yeah, that's pretty bad, especially in an already tough matchup. I'm just gonna go for the Ice Hammer in the Trick Room and hope that they Hurricane with Pelipper into Crab. I survive and then I KO the Dragonite. That's kind of like the ideal hope. They switch out the Pelipper, which is good for me. Into Arch. That's good. The question is, did you Dragon Tail or did you Hurricane? Because I had to get the 50 right here. Because both are reasonable, I think. They went for Dragon Tail. Oh my goodness. Okay, we get rid of the Dragonite, which is huge. Goodbye, Dragonite. So Dragonite goes down. Surprised they switched out Pelipper, but maybe they thought I was going to go Torkoal for the Crab slot and attempt a Trick Room. So this works out huge. Okay, awesome. Alright, who's coming out? If it's Pelipper, I click Psychic Thunder Punch. Or do I go for Ice Hammer? Sinistra comes in. Okay. Are they going to protect? I'm going to go for Ice Hammer into Sinistra because I think Ice Hammer should KO and we're going to set up the Sunny Day. Yeah, I'm going to set up a Sunny Day. Because I could see incentives. Okay, they Rage Powder to protect the Archaludon from going, or to protect our Archaludon from taking a Fine type move, which makes sense. I go for the Ice Hammer. This should KO the Sinistra. It does KO the Sinistra. We get a Sunny Day off, so if they do go for a let's say they go for a Electro Shot, then they're going to be trapped in the next turn, so I can go for Helping Hand Drain Punch into our Archalon, and if they go for Flash Cannon, it doesn't KO me. And they stay asleep. Okay, perfect. Okay. Alright. Was looking like a disaster, but you could always make a hard read and get back into the swing of things. Pelipper comes in. I'm gonna Thunder Punch the Pelipper, and I'm gonna set up a... I think I Psychic double up the Pelipper. Because Arch has to be worried about the fighting move. The Pelipper is kind of in a weird spot. If it doesn't Protect, I just KO the Pelipper, and then it's just GG. Yeah. Alright, so it's not Sash Pelipper, so I'm going to give the Archalon a stamina boost, but granted this is fine, because that means Torkoal should be able to beat it overall. They're also never locking Electric Shot here, I think. And if they do Electric Shot, it's still fine. I survive with both Pokemon. They wake up. They did actually Electric Shot. Okay, so I could have actually went for a Sunny Day play, but that's fine. Okay. Into the Giraffe. Are they going to stall out the Trick Room turns? Probably. There's no reason to ever Sunny Day in this position. I'm just going to go for Helping Hand Drain Punch. I think they're probably attacking this turn and then maybe Protect on the last turn. You can't really afford, I think, Torkoal to come in and burn your Protect. So let's see. Okay, nice. We get the Drain Punch off and barely missed a knock on our Archalon, but the game is sealed at this point, I'm pretty sure. They went for Electric Shot again? There's a Torkoal. Okay, maybe this is a call here, depending on who they target. Does Crablet +2 Electric Shot? I think we might. No, they target Giraffe again. Okay, no, I guarantee win here. Because I can just Drain Punch Eruption, and they can't knock out both. So, okay. Definitely some aggressive, greedy Electric Shots from my opponent, but this works out pretty well for me, as they do forfeit because they realize they can't be Torkoal plus Crab in the back because they're too low. I just get a knockout regardless, and they can't knock out both, so nice. Alright, we have Charizard, Garchomp, Incineroar, Whimsicott, King Gambit, and the Sneasler. Alright. I think my best... It's kind of a weird matchup because I want to bring Arrow? I mean, Arrow is really, really good here. So what I want to bring is Incineroar, Torkoal, Farigiraf, Crab. I don't know if it's going to work. That's the problem. Also, I keep forgetting, how fast is my Incineroar? I might be slower than the Gambit, which could be a bit annoying. But I think it's still... I could lead like Aerodactyl plus like an offense mon immediately. Like Rock Slide, Ice Fang, Dual Wing Beat is pretty effective, but I want to use the Crab. I want to try to see if I can find a Crab win con. They're probably not bringing Whimsicott because it doesn't really do that well into my team. I think we're just going to go with the Incineroar plus the Giraffe immediately and then have Crab. I guess I don't need Torkoal in this game, now that I think about it. I think I could get away with Arrow. And the reason I think I can get away with Arrow is because since I have Helping Hand on the Giraffe, I can go for a Helping Hand Flare Blitz. I was thinking about like going Torkoal and then clicking Flare Blitz turn one, but I could just try to knock out the King Gambit if I really need to. So let's see. Incineroar King Gambit is fine. All right. Versus Incineroar and the Giraffe. I think this is a pretty safe fake out into Gambit and Trick Room. Of course, there could be things that could go horribly wrong here, but I think this is the best line that I do have access to. Yeah, I think I just go for fake out Trick Room. Because Incineroar, unless it has Roar, we should be fine. Or Taunt, I guess. Are you Taunt Incineroar? If you're Taunt Incineroar, we'll have to play an interesting game, but let's see. Fake out into Gambit. Okay, it's just Darkest Lair. Yeah, that's cool. We don't take that much damage. All right, perfect. Beautiful. And we go for a Trick Room. Now, I guess the question is, who do I want to target? The Incineroar or the King Gambit. I think I would probably just want to go for... Is helping in close combat better, or is it helping hand Flare Blitz? I think we double up. I think I go for the helping hand close combat into Incin for the damage into Incin. They can't knock out both Giraffe and Incineroar, and they could protect the Gambit, so I think it's always worth going for the Incineroar anyway, because they don't usually run Protect, and getting that chip damage is nice. Okay, they go for Kowtow. They target the Incineroar slot, which is interesting. Okay. Maybe trying to cover for a switch. We get a close combat off into their Incineroar for some pretty decent damage. Are they just going to go for Darkest Lariat again? Alright. Let's activate Citrus. Parting Shot, sure. Huh, alright. The Gambit's slower than my Incin, so it's another fast one. Let's see who do you bring out. Charizard, okay. Oh, I wish I got the KO on the Gambit, but I mean, this is still pretty alright here, potentially. I'm curious if you have Low Kick or if you have Iron Head. Maybe you have Iron Head on this team? I'm gonna Flare Blitz helping hand the Incineroar and try to go for the KO on the Gambit. They could switch out into their own Incineroar, which is fair for the Gambit slot, but they're gonna stay in. They didn't Mega Evolve with Charizard, so is this double Protect or is this just Protect the Charizard? Okay, they protected the Charizard. I'm not sure why. Maybe they just don't want... Yeah, I don't get a rock move. They go for Kowtow into the Farigiraf, which is cool. Alright. As let's see how much this Flare Blitz does. Good damage to the Gambit. Okay. We activate the Citrus Berry. We want to go into the Crab. It's a spooky endgame because it depends on what they have in the back. We're going to go Crab. I'm hoping they try to bring out Incin. I'm not 100% certain. What is their last? Should I just close combat? I don't know if they have Iron Head or if they have Low Kick. That's what I'm curious about because I feel like they should have went for the Low Kick before, but we'll see. They've just gone for Kowtow. I could knock out the Gambit, but that means Charizard gets free attacks, which is not good. But I still need to knock out the Gambit if I want Arrow to have a plan here. I think I just close combat the Gambit and I protect the Crab. Okay, they switch out Charizard, which is good into Incin. Okay, that's super ideal, assuming they targets down my Incin or my Crab. Please target my Crab. Okay, Protect works too. It's not as ideal, but it works too. So is this fake out Iron Head? I think I could win with Incin plus Crab. It just depends on the last mon. I'm gonna Flare Blitz the Gambit and I'm just gonna Drain Punch. I guess I go for the Mega now. Yeah, I think I go for the Mega, go for the Incin. They can only fake out one, which is fine. They retreat the Gambit actually into Charizard. Okay. Garchomp. Endgame is kind of interesting. Although I think I'm kind of in an okay spot. It really just depends on... The Chomp item is going to be a huge one. I do get the KO on Incin because they give me the KO on Incin. Okay, wait, hold on. This might be good. They didn't fake out, which I'm very shocked by, but I do get the KO into the Incin. And I get, I guess, Flare Blitz damage into Chomp, which could matter for Ice Fang, I suppose. Alright. I think they're going to go Charizard, right? And click Earthquake plus Heat Wave. Or they might click Earthquake plus Weather Ball because there is a Wide Guard option. Yeah, here comes Charizard. Trying to think about my best line here. I don't think I can let Arrow take a Heat Wave. It just takes too much damage. So I think we go for a Flare Blitz and we target down the Garchomp and we protect the Crab here. I might have to play risky if they decide to play defensive, but yeah, they do go for probably, I imagine this is Earthquake plus Heat Wave. They could go for Weather Ball, as I mentioned before, but since I have no idea which move to lock into, my best play is to always just sack my Incineroar, bring out the Aerodactyl that's healthy. So we protect our Crab here as they Earthquake. Good. Then the next turns are going to be very scary, but this is the best spot I could put myself in. So Incineroar goes down. I get to bring out Aerodactyl. I get to click Rock Slide. Or I protect if I read Charizard to protect. Alright, we go on an Arrow. So the question is, A, does Charizard protect? Because if it protects, I want to protect my Aerodactyl. I feel like the Rock Slide is just so obvious. I could go for Heat Wave Dodge, I guess, if I get this play wrong, too. I'm going to protect an Ice Hammer. This is risky, potentially, but I think I guarantee lose if they... Oh, wait, what? Chomp switches out into Gambit. Wait, what? Oh, they're Scarf Chomp. Oh, that means they should be protecting, right? The Charizard? Nice. Okay, wait, this works out huge for me. Okay, so they're Scarf Chomp. This could get still a bit spooky, but overall, this is good for me. I do get the Ice Hammer into the Gambit. Doesn't KO, which is actually ideal. So now, assuming Aerodactyl hits the Rock Slide, I go for a Rock Slide, Ice Hammer into the Charizard, because they might switch out into the Garchomp in that slot. The way they're playing this, it should be Scarf on the Garchomp. So now we want to go for Rock Slide, because if they stay in with Charizard, it goes down the Rock Slide. Gambit also goes down the Rock Slide, and then I should be safe with Crab winning the game. If they decide to go for the double protect, they just need to not get it ideally, or we just dodge a Rock Slide flinch with our Arrow. All right, this is a good spot. Ideally, that was the perfect case. I knew Charizard was protecting, but if I got rid of the Garchomp, it was good for me. But if we didn't, yeah, now we're actually in a really good spot. Yeah, it should be Scarf Garchomp or Scarf Garchomp if they're making that kind of play. Okay, super ideal. Gambit protects, but they didn't protect the Charizard. Place it the Rock Slide. Okay, perfect. Charizard can't live the Rock Slide from Aerodactyl, so Charizard goes down. And now it's gonna be a Rock Slide game. We go for a Rock Slide, and we go for the Ice Hammer into the King Gambit. Okay, let me think about this. They're definitely clicking Rock Slide. Rock Tomb doesn't change anything. What if they Sucker Punch here? The Arrow. It's always better to Ice Hammer the Gambit then. Yeah. They go for Rock Slide. Okay, it's just gonna come down to, does Arrow get the attack off? Well, wait. This game sometimes, man. I should have went for Ice Fang, to be fair. Actually, is Ice Fang? No, I think Rock Slide is the better play because it's only a 5% accuracy change, but the extra damage on Garchomp does matter for some stuff. I think I could go for... I have to go for a Rock Slide miss. Yeah, I have to go for a Rock Slide miss. I think they always target the Crab and Rock Slide here to Arrow, because if I Wide Guard, it's kind of a weird spot. They have to target the Crab, I think. So yeah, I think I always go for this. Wait, why? If I have Wide Guard, I can Wide Guard the Rock Slide. I could Drain Punch the Gambit, and then I think I could win a Crab. Unfortunate. I think I was in a really good spot, but I did have to dodge the Scarf Rock Slide flinch, but unfortunately, it's a Rock Slide. It's this format, so what can you do? That is kind of the thing about using Crab. Outside of Trick Room, though, but I mean, I brought Aerodactyl for the speed, and it was kind of working out until that happened. All right, we have Skarmory, Pelipper, King Gambit, Dragonite, Alola Ninetales, and Sneasler. So we got double weather, which is interesting with Skarmory especially. Okay. Dealing with this is going to be pretty difficult. Am I going with the Venusaur Farigiraf lead? It might be my best lead here. I think it is unironically my best lead here. Because, like, I'm trying to figure out how to set up the Crab the best. The problem with Crab is it needs Trick Room, but it's not easy to get inside Trick Room. Because you need the Pokemon to faint, or you need to hard swap it, so you have to make really aggressive calls with Crab. Aerodactyl's only good. I mean, Aerodactyl's good against the Dragonite, Ninetales, and Sneasler, but it's really bad against the rest of the team. I think I need Torkoal, or otherwise I think I'm losing to the Skarmory. And like Eruption's still pretty good against my opponent's team in general, so we'll find out. The idea is to try to get Ninetales in, or not Ninetales, get Crab in hopefully, but setting up Trick Room is easier said than done. It depends on lead. We're gonna see Dragonite plus the King Gambit, okay? I think I'm just gonna Sleep Powder attempt to the Dragonite, and I'm gonna go for Trick Room. I don't know if a double up in the Giraffe KOs, unless it's specifically like maybe Dragon Fang, Dragon Claw. I'm not exactly 100% certain. Okay, so not Mega on the Gambit, okay, or Mega on the Dragonite. They go for Kowtow and the Venusaur, which actually works out pretty well for me. Okay. And Trick Room goes up. I'll take it. That's the best I could have asked for here, probably. I'm a bit worried because actually they shouldn't be Iron Head on this team if they have Skarm. I think I just go Crab here, and I think I just spam a Psychic into the Dragonite slot to break the multi-scale. All right. So this isn't terrible. We get to bring out our Crab here. Do they protect? I don't think they should ever protect. They should just go on the offense. I'm surprised they kowtow the Giraffe, but that works out. Because I could have went Sleep Powder, switching the other slot into Crab, but that works fine. All right. As we get Psychic off. So the Dragonite, ooh, that did a lot because it crit. No, it's Inner Focus Dragonite. Okay, interesting. Inner Focus Dragonite, huh? Yeah, because that did way too much for a multi-scale attack. I could try to cover a switch with Thunder Punch. I don't think it's worth it. I could Drain Punch the Gambit. Upping Drain Punch should KO. I don't think it's needed. I think I just go for Ice Hammer into Dragonite. And I swap out the Farigiraf and go Venusaur because I actually want the Giraffe to stick around. I think Giraffe is still pretty good to have in this matchup because the Armatail's really nice. So we go Venusaur and we Mega Ball Crab. No switches, which is interesting. Is this protect from both? Because the Dragonite is guaranteed to wake up here, which is fine. Okay, no switches. I do get the Ice Hammer just KO into the Dragonite. So Dragonite goes down. Low Kick doesn't knock out Crab, and I can heal back with Drain Punch potentially the next turn. They go for Low Kick, which is fine. I do live, yeah. Okay, I don't mind that. If it's Pelipper, I'll click T-Punch into it. If it's Skarmory, I Sleep Powder and Drain Punch. I Sleep Powder to Skarmory and I Drain Punch. Okay, so Skarmory, we're clicking Drain Punch, we're clicking Sleep Powder. And that is the play. We could still win with Torkoal endgame, but we do ideally want the KO into Gambit with the Drain Punch here. We could also still technically win with Furriaf plus Torkoal, but it's like a lot, and I mean a lot harder. Skarmory gonna Mega Evolve. Alright. Crab, how good are you? Can we knock out the King Gambit with Drain Punch? Oh, if they protect, that's fine too, because I get a Sleep Powder off into the Skarmory. Okay. Nice. Okay, we'll take it. And now we go for a Drain Punch into the Gambit, and we're going to protect the Venusaur. They could go out for the Gambit and the Pelipper, but then Torkoal comes in, and then I think it gets really messy for them, so I don't think that's ever worth it to them. Yeah, I don't think that's ever worth it to them. I think I always just Drain Punch protect here because I make sure that Venusaur never goes down here. They can't knock out the Venusaur this turn. I get the Drain Punch off into King Gambit unless it's Pelipper back. They do actually go hard into Pelipper, which is fine. Yeah, I don't mind this. Because next turn I think I could Sleep Powder, go Sleep Powder, go Torkoal. Which should work, but we'll see. Skarmory went for Protect, so that's fine. Like, it doesn't change anything. I get a Drain Punch. That did so much damage. What the heck? Oh, I was about to say, like, what was that damage? Okay. It does activate the Citrus, which is a bit annoying. I do have Torkoal and Energy Ball, but I don't know if Energy Ball KOs the Pelipper. Probably not. I think I just go Torkoal and I click Sleep Powder. I think we've gone down such a road, we might as well just go for the Sleep Powder into the Pelipper. Because they could also switch out into the King Gambit again to try and regain weather control, which I think is fair. So I think I always Sleep Powder the Pelipper anyway. So we bring out the Torkoal. Get the Chlorophyll up for the Venu with the Sun, and we get the Sleep Powder off. I mean, that's how you kind of play with this team. You kind of need to get some Sleep Powders. Okay, perfect. They wake up. They go for Brave Bird. This is in the Venu, which is fine. They do go for Venu. That's all right. Because here's the thing. If I didn't get the Sun up, the Skarmory was faster than Venusaur. This works out perfectly because now I can get Trick Room up. And Trick Room next to my Torkoal goes insane here. Because I don't think they can knock out the Torkoal unless they go for Blind Hurricane, which is 50% chance, and they have to wake up from the sleep. So I think I should be able to go for a Heat Wave pretty safely, plus a Trick Room. Only problem is if they have Wide Guard and they wake up first, but I guess we also still have Crab if that's the case. We do go for a Trick Room Heat Wave here. I could go for Eruption, but I'd rather go for the Heat Wave and get as much damage as I can if they play passive here. Or if they Brave Bird the Torkoal, I really want to make sure. Or they just go for a Hurricane into Torkoal. I'm making sure I get my Heat Wave damage off. If I get rid of Skarmory, that's nice, but we'll see. Okay, Pelipper wakes up and gets a Wide Guard. I wish I had Weather Ball. Weather Ball would have been really nice, but that's okay. Drill Run, okay. Doesn't do any damage. Okay, this is going to be a super close one. Do they know I have Weather Ball or do they not? That is the question. I think I Psychic Solar Beam here, the Pelipper. If they go Gambit, that's fine. I can go for Heat Wave, Sunny Day. Skarmory still can't take a knockout here. Yeah, they spam Wide Guard, which is perfect because I do get access to Psychic plus Solar Beam, and I should then be able to spam Helping Hand Heat Wave the following turn. So I think that's pretty good. Solar Beam. Unless Psychic doesn't KO here, but I think it should. Yeah. Okay. We get rid of Pelipper, fantastic, and now it's just Gambit and Skarmory alone by themselves, and Heat Wave's looking really good. Brave Bird. I don't think this scales for Rigorath. Yeah. Perfect. And now Helping Hand Heat Wave should win. Actually, I could Helping Hand Eruption because they didn't get damage in a Torkoal. I'm pretty sure Helping Hand Eruption easily KOs the Gambit. Yeah. So they need what? Triple Protects? They need triple triple. Or two triples. Two triples, yeah. They need two triples. Unless it's Sash Gambit, then I guess it could be kind of interesting, but Sash Gambit can't knock out the Torkoal, so we go for Helping Hand Eruption. Do I ever Sunny Day Eruption, or do I spam Helping Hand Eruption if Sun fades? I think I'm still fine, regardless. Do they go for Protect even? Because I do have access to switch if I need to. But we'll see. Helping Hand. No, I spam Helping Hand, actually, because I don't get the Sunny Day off before. Okay, Skarmory protects. The King Gambit didn't protect, so... They were either hoping I didn't have Helping Hand on the Farigiraf, or this is Sash. Or does this even live? I don't think it does, unless it's Sash. Yeah, it's not Sash. Okay, I win. Cool. So Gambit goes down, and that seals up the win here for me. As about is going to be forfeited. So... Felt like I brought the right mons, and I feel like I made most of the plays I needed to win. I kind of applied pressure with the Venusaur, which was solid. I got what I needed, and yeah. All right, we have the Hisuian Typhlosion, Excadrill, Sneasler, Aerodactyl, Serena, and Blastoise. A very, very fast-paced offensive team, that's for sure. This is going to be a little bit weird. Because it's probably Taunt Serena. I imagine it's Taunt Serena. I kind of want to go with Venusaur, though. Venusaur is actually pretty decent here. Is it Venusaur and Sin? Do I go Venusaur and Incineroar and then try to do back Farigiraf plus the... The problem is the Typhlosion's kind of concerning. Oh, wait. Isn't this like a wolf team? I'm pretty sure this is a wolf team. Unfortunately, I don't know the details of said wolf team. I did not know the details of said wolf team. I think it's Mega Excadrill, if I'm not mistaken. I want to sweep with the crab. How do I get the Trick Room up? I think it's probably Farigiraf plus Incin with Venu and the crab back. Let's see if this works. If they lead Blastoise, it's just game over immediately. But do you lead Blastoise into a Venusaur Sun team? I don't think so. Like, I really don't. So that's why I'm kind of committing more to the Incineroar, because I don't think I have a safe, like, oh, this covers, like, all the leads. So I kind of have to commit against this offensive team. Caesar Blastoise is fine, because I can just fake out the Blastoise and I can set up Trick Room. So this is a really good turn for me. Are you White Herb on this Sneasler? It is White Herb, so I can Psychic that slot, which is good. So we're going to go for a Trick Room, and we're going to go for a Fake Out into the Blastoise. If they switch in Serena, that's fine, because then I get Crab in a pretty good spot. Yeah, like even if you Trick Room plus Spout, this is okay for me. Because I'm not too worried about the Serena. I wonder if they even know about Thunder Punch. That is what I'm curious on. Do you know if I have Thunder Punch? Okay. Water Spout is fine. Farigiraf lives. And we get Trick Room up. So now it's just, can I sweep under the turns of Trick Room? I think I should be able to, but we'll find out. I'm going for Helping Hand T-Punch into the Blastoise. So Helping Hand plus a Thunder Punch, because I'm not risking Aura Spear into the Crab. Because Aura Spear would KO the Crab. Serena High Jump Kick definitely wouldn't KO the Crab, I'm pretty sure. Unless it's like some boosting item, but I doubt it. Alright, let's see. Can the Crab KO the Blastoise here, ideally? I don't know if they have Protect on Blastoise. We'll find out, I suppose. Helping Hand. I feel like Serena has to be worried about getting knocked out here, but we'll see. Okay, no Protects. I do get a Thunder Punch off. It does KO the Blastoise, so Blastoise goes down. Great. I don't have to worry about that massive threat. Is this Power Whip? Low Kick. Okay, that's fine. Alright. I can heal that back with Helping Hand Drain Punch if I need to, so this works out pretty good for me. And if they go Sneasler, I just click Psychic Ice Hammer, so they can't do that. Aerodactyl coming in. That's fine. Can I just click Psychic into the arrow? I could Ice Hammer, Psychic. That's not too bad of a play here, but I have no idea if the Serena has Protect. I guess this is still fine even if it doesn't work out. Actually, no, it's not good into... If Farigiraf goes down here, I do lose to Sneasler probably endgame-wise, so this is not great. But no Protect's coming out from my opponent at all, so I do get a Psychic off an arrow. It's a 2-shot. They went for Dropkick. Okay, this could go bad. Granted, I think I could still win. It just really depends. I guess I could have doubled up the arrow with Drain Punch plus Psychic. But I didn't know if they would Protect ever. Venusaur comes in. I get to click Energy Ball and Ice Hammer. Which is what I'll do. I have 2 more turns to Trick Room. I was about to say I should have 2 more turns. Okay, perfect. I go for Ice Hammer into the Serena. Endgame's gonna be close. I just don't know if I beat the Sneasler back. They could switch out the arrow into Sneasler. Oh, if they give me... Wait. I think that's the way I win. Because I'm pretty sure Ice Hammer blows up the Sneasler. Wait. I don't know why they did that, but that works out huge. Oh, they read Sludge Bomb. But Sludge Bomb, I don't think KOs Serena in 1 shot. So that's perfect. I get rid of the Sneasler. They gave me the Sneasler. So this is perfect. If they switch out the arrow into the Sneasler, it could have been different. But of course, I guess it's kind of risky if I attack with the Crab into the arrow. But I kind of need to try to get a double knockout. If they're not protecting the Serena the whole time, I think it's maybe Taunt helping hand Serena with Play Rough Low Kick. Or not, or Low Kick plus Drop Kick that we saw. This works out. Because now if arrow doesn't get double Protect, 1, the Serena has to have Protect. And the arrow also has to have Protect. Or get a double Protect. That's basically my opponent's win con here. So I'm going for Ice Hammer plus... Wait, they did have Protect. Why did they hard switch to Sneasler? They didn't get the double though. Okay, so I win. Because they can't beat Venusaur. Well, I guess if they have triple Axle, but... No. Drop Kick, Protect, Low Kick. I guess they could have triple Axle in Fury, but... I mean... Venusaur should outspeed the Serena? Question mark? I'm not even going to question. I'm just going to go for Ice Hammer plus the Sludge Bomb. They could also go for Ice Hammer miss as well. We saw Drop Kick, we saw Low Kick, and we saw Protect. We didn't see a Taunt or a Helping Hand. It is triple Axle, okay? And Venusaur is just too good because it just lives on 1. I don't know if it was Sash. Unfortunately, we don't get to confirm it here. It was not Sash. Okay. Also, I didn't expect 1 Sludge Bomb to KO Serena, so I guess that's why they switched. I'm actually surprised Sludge Bomb KOs Serena. As I know Serena's generally decently bulky usually as a mob, but I guess it was offensive. You know what? I don't question hyper offense. I just take my KOs and take the win here. All right, we have Charizard, Aerodactyl, Sylveon, Basculegion, Garchomp, and Farigiraf. Okay. Aerodactyl actually seems more tempting. They have both Farigiraf and a Tailwind mode as well. I think I could go for Farigiraf Incin, which is not a terrible plan. I kind of want to have Aerodactyl in this game. I do still want to bring Crab though, because I think Crab under Trick Room is pretty reasonable to have here. I could also go for Aerodactyl, try to sweep my opponent's team, which is fair because the Ice Fang actually puts on a lot of pressure. But I'm not 100% certain on this. I'm debating about leading Aerodactyl because they don't have the best ways of pressuring the Trick Room immediately. It could be like Charizard Sylveon lead. I'm going to lead Farigiraf Aerodactyl. I think have Instant in the back as a way to switch in with Intimidate and then Crab in the back. I got to watch out for Basculegion. Basculegion, of course, always going to be a scary mon that has to be handled. However, I think that this is pretty all right. I also like having Instant as a switch to Farigiraf because I actually think Farigiraf is a little bit tricky if I don't get any prior damage onto it. So Charizard Sylveon. Okay, this is kind of what I expected, which works. As I lead the Farigiraf plus the Aerodactyl. I'm worried about taking a bit too much damage here. What does more? Helping Hand Rock Slide or Psychic Rock Slide? I could also go for Helping Hand Dual Wing Beat because I'm like pretty confident Charizard's protecting here. I don't really want to Mega Evolve again. I want to try to get Crab in. I think I'm going to go for Helping Hand Dual Wing Beat. The Charizard should switch out. Yeah, or Protect. Those two options were very likely. Ferreroff comes in, which is an interesting bring here. Okay, maybe to reverse Trick Room if I set up Trick Room. Okay, this actually works out pretty decently. Unless Sylveon protected, which then is kind of awkward. Okay, nice. I get a Dual Wing Beat off into the Sylveon. Actually do some pretty good damage to the Sylveon, which I'll gladly take. It's in range of another Dual Wing Beat afterward. And then this is Hyper Voice. Yep. A lot of damage to the arrow, but you know what? I will take it. I think if that's the call here, then I could sack my Aerodactyl to bring in my Crab under Trick Room potentially. Because if they go for a KO into the Aerodactyl with Farigiraf, I'm in a good spot. I'm going to go for Trick Room, and I'm going to go for Dual Wing Beat. They also have a play that they could make here, which is also Trick Room with Farigiraf Protect with Sylveon. So I think like Dual Wing Beat Trick Room is pretty safe because it covers both of those options, whether they go for a KO into Aerodactyl or if they protect, set up Trick Room for themselves. This works out either way for me. So we'll go for Dual Wing Beat. Nice. No Sylveon protecting is good, so I get rid of Sylveon, which is massive. And that is a pretty good start because Sylveon was a massive threat that I didn't have the best switch-ins into. Nice. They go for the KO on Aerodactyl, which is super ideal. Okay. I like that. And we do get the Trick Room off. Now we have still mind game questions, but I still like the Crab coming in. I could go instant, but I don't think it's really necessary. We're gonna see Charizard come in, which makes sense. I feel like the Helping Hand attack is super obvious into Charizard, but I think it's like a call between do they read me to target down the Charizard or target down the Farigiraf. I'm gonna go for Helping Hand in the Crab. The question is, am I clicking the Ice Hammer or am I clicking the Drain Punch here? Or not Drain Punch, Thunder Punch into the Charizard. Helping Hand Ice Hammer probably knocks out Charizard too, but you know what? Let's go for the Farigiraf and read Reverse Trick Room here. I think Protect Reverse Trick Room makes a lot of sense here, but let's see. Alright, bring out the Crab. Yeah, they didn't Mega Ball, so I'm assuming this is Protect Reverse Trick Room. Okay, so I did get this right, it looks like. Nice, okay. The question is, does this KO Farigiraf? Because I am not 100% certain. Ice Hammer? You gotta be kidding me. I lived on one? Oh, they Psyshock though. That's good for me. Wait, why didn't they reverse Trick Room? Okay, that works out for me. I'm shocked that the Farigiraf barely lived, but you know what? We'll take it. Now I'm gonna go for Helping Hand T-Punch into the Charizard because we know that we know I live another Psyshock. Kind of surprised they didn't reverse Trick Room because if they didn't reverse Trick Room, I was in kind of an awkward spot where I probably have to make a call the next turn of whether they Weather Ball my Farigiraf or not. But they're actually gonna Mega Evolve here, so this better not be Ally Switch. This better not be some Ally Switch. I don't remember if Farigiraf gets it or not, but Helping Hand T-Punch will KO the Charizard. Let's see if this works. Thunder Punch. KOs the Charizard. Beautiful. Is last one Basket Legion or is it Garchomp? Reverse Trick Room now? Okay, they reverse Trick Room now, but I think I'm pretty much set here because I don't see how they're beating this this Crab. Plus instant combination in the back. Because if it's Garchomp, okay, if it's Garchomp, that's fine. I'm gonna just go for a Trick Room with my Giraffe. Well, Trick Room's a bit obvious. I do want to go instant here. Well, they're not gonna Earthquake themselves. I think they either double up the Crab. This is either Rock Slide Psyshock, or they're gonna Trick Room plus Dragon Claw the Giraffe. I think I Trick Room switch to Instant. Because here's the thing, Psychic damage doesn't matter on the Garchomp most likely, and Psychic doesn't really matter on the Giraffe because I don't even know if it'll be a 3-hit KO or a 2-hit KO. It might be a 3-hit KO. They go for Helping Hand, so this is perfect. The Intimidate works out really well in my favor, and then I also get Trick Room up. They actually self-Earthquake, so they KO'd their own Giraffe. So this was actually the best play possible. Nice, because I am able to survive here. Beautiful. As Incineroar is able to eat a berry, we get the Trick Room up, and now I can go for a play of Fake Out the Garchomp, swap into the Crab, and that would win the game. So, surprised they didn't reverse Trick Room earlier, but you know what? We will take it. We will take it. Especially since they had Helping Hand, they could have Helping Hand Heat Waved. I guess it could have been a Wide Guard game if they fought at Wide Guard, but sure. Alright, we have Scizor, Incineroar, Sinistcha, Tyranitar, Como, and Basculegion. Interesting Sand Team dual Mega potentially with Tyranitar and Scizor. Those are the only Mega Evolutions options that my opponent has. And what's nice is I do have a Incineroar Close Combat's actually really good here. Like surprisingly really good here. I don't think I need Aerodactyl. Doesn't really do much in this matchup. And Venusaur is like okay, but it's not really necessary. I think I just go with like Instant Farigiraf, which is pretty good of a lead in general against my opponent's team. Bring the Torkoal and the Crab in the back because the Torkoal seems really good here just because it threatens the Scizor, which is definitely the scariest mon, probably. And I do have double fighting coverage with Incineroar plus my Crab against the Tyranitar. Against Como, I do have access to Farigiraf plus the Crab as well. And then against Basculegion, I do have the Sun Up, Intimidate, as well as the Thunder Punch from Crab, but also the normal typing Farigiraf, so Last Respect isn't as scary. So I think this is the best 4. And Sinistcha, of course, I have like multiple Pokemon that just beat Sinistcha, so should be completely fine. Let's see where my opponent decides to go here lead-wise. Going to be Incineroar and Basculegion, so I get a pretty good lead here in general. I get an Intimidate off into both of these Pokemon. They can't threaten the knockout into Farigiraf, I'm pretty sure. So I think here I just go for a... I actually just want a hard swap immediately into my Crab to get as much offensive pressure as possible. And I'm going to go for a Trick Room immediately. So I'm not sure. I don't think this is Sash Bass. They have a Tyranitar, and it's less likely they would lead it if that was the case. We're going to see Helping Hand come out. Okay, is this Helping Hand Wave Crash into the Incineroar slot? Because it's not KOing the Giraffe. Yeah, it is. A lot of damage, but okay, we're fine here. As I do get a Trick Room up here, which is pretty solid. And now I have a lot of plays I can go for. I can go for Drain Punch into the Incineroar. Helping Hand usually means it doesn't have Protect. But there are quite a few mind games involved here. Do I think this is Flare Blitz or do I think it's a Dark type move? I'm only worried if they go Sinistcha here. So I did take a lot of damage. I could recover the damage here, but we're not 100% certain. I could Thunder Punch the Basque. I guess I could also just Protect Go Instant, which is also like not a terrible play either. Yeah, I'm gonna go Instant and just Protect because this scouts for the Sinistcha play. I can threaten Dark type move into Drain Punch the next turn, which is pretty good. I get another Intimidate off. They switch out the Incineroar to Sinistcha. Scizor. Okay, I could have got a really big hit off on the Scizor, but this is still okay. Protect the Crab. They went for Wave Crash. It might be Scarf Basque. Or maybe it's Mystic Water, because it did so much damage to the Crab. Alright, I think I'm going to go for Thunder Punch into the Basculegion. And I think I'm going to go out in a Farigiraf. This could be Bullet Punch. Or they could go to Instant, which I think both are kind of reasonable here. But the thing is, their Scizor is heavily threatened by an attack from my Incineroar with Flare Blitz. So I'm not exactly sure if they want to risk it here. We'll find out. Okay, they switch out into Instant on that slot, which makes sense as well. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. That means Scizor should Protect unless they really want to risk the Flare Blitz or they were willing to sack the Scizor here. Also, I did make sure I didn't Protect when Mega Evolving the previous turn, or when I protected the previous turn, because I didn't want the Intimidate, as you see here. There's no... Okay, did they just Mega Evolve for the bulk? Because, like, there's no way you should attack with the Scizor. I could just Flare Blitz here. Okay, I'm about to say there was, like, no way they should have. Okay. So I do get a Thunder Punch off into the Instant, which is huge. Damage. Because now I can guarantee Drain Punch KO it. I am stalling out my own Trick Room turns, but I think overall this is not terrible of a decision. They should switch out the Ensign, and they might Bug Bite the Farigiraf if they have it. I think my best play is just to Thunder Punch the Ensign, because the Ensign's just invulnerable. I think they go back into Crab, and or not Crab, into Basque, and I think I go out into Torkoal, I go out into Instant. I think I go Torkoal because I think it's more likely they click the Bug Bite into Farigiraf. Mega Scizor, I think, runs Bug Bite more than Close Combat. Or they Swords Dance here, both make sense. So we bring out Torkoal. I think this is definitely a swap from Instant into the Basque. Yep. Because you don't want to get Drain Punch and give me the recovery. Yep, exactly. So I get a Thunder Punch off into the Basque. I KO the Basque, so that's one Pokemon down. And that's a Pokemon that definitely does a lot of damage to my Torkoal, my Instant, so I'll gladly take it. They do set up a Swords Dance, but I don't think it's too bad here because the Torkoal's actually driving a lot of damage here. So if they go out into the Incineroar, I just go out in a Giraffe and click Eruption, so that's fine. If they go Tyranitar here, I click Drain Punch plus Eruption. Or I can go Instant and Eruption as well. That's also pretty fair play. So I have like a lot of options. My opponent's in a really rough spot. Double Fire against a Scizor is not pretty to say the least. They go Instant, so this is a safe play here. Just going out into the Farigiraf and clicking Eruption. I could also go for like a different route, but the Instant can't really punish a Torkoal regardless. And if Scizor burns its Protect, it's pretty good for me. So I'm going for the Eruption and I'm going out into Farigiraf. So I feel like I'm in a good spot, but there are a few things to keep in mind. We don't know the last Pokemon. I feel like it should have been Tyranitar. Maybe they go into Tyranitar now, but we'll see. I think they're probably just gambling here on if I switch in Farigiraf and switch slot. Okay, they do protect the Scizor, which is fine. I could have Drain Punch, but I was not risking Bullet Punch or Fake Out. They probably went for Parting Shot, which is the best play that they had access to here. I get good damage to the Incineroar. Citrus. Parting Shot. Oh, they targeted Crap, so my Torkoal is actually neutral. Then again, I'm pretty sure that -1 Heat Wave would still KO the Scizor, even if like they bring in Tyranitar to get rid of the Sun. Yeah, Tyranitar comes in. I mean, I could still lose, so I got to be a little bit cautious, but I think my best play here, just go out in Incineroar and click the Heat Wave button. I will have to dodge Rock Slide flinches, but so be it. It's like the only play that I have access to. I wish I went for the Drain Punch instead into the Instant, because I felt like that there was the best play, but I wasn't sure. I guess I was switching to Farigiraf pretty consistently, so I could have made that play, even if it was a bit risky, because they could Bullet Punch theoretically. But yeah, they go for Bug Bite, Rock Slide, double up into Torkoal, but this is definitely not KOing. And that's cool, because my Instant gets to keep the Berry, which actually makes this even more likely for me to win. They crit my Torkoal. Okay. Like, I still think I'm fine, but that is one pretty bad component RNG wise. We are gonna go for Fake Out into the Scizor, and we're gonna go for a Trick Room here. Because we need Trick Room up to win the game at this point, because all my Pokemon are slower than theirs. So I will go for Fake Out. Then we are risking quite a bit the following turns, I suppose. I wonder if they go Instant here for the Scizor slot, which is fine. Luckily, I have my Citrus Berry on Incineroar intact. Okay, they give me the Fake Out into Scizor. I'm assuming we're just fighting through Rock Slides now. Yep. Citrus Berry activates. this game sometimes, man. Unfortunately, I don't have a play. Yeah, I just lose off that. Crit into a flinch. Unlucky. That's kind of like the downside of using Hard Trick Room, though. Trying to think, is there any potential chance of winning? They should just Bug Bite the Farigiraf here. And click Rock Slide. I don't have a counterplay. I guess I go for the miss, and even if there's like no chance I win. Like, even if they Bug Bite the Incineroar, maybe if I crit the Scizor with Helping Hand Drain Punch from my Crab, maybe. Because like Knockoff is not KOing my Giraffe. Maybe I could have switched out the Incin into the Crab. If I switch out the Incin into Crab and Crab goes down, maybe with Helping Hand CC on the targets, but I think they should just mono attack the Incin. But I would have to go for several of my opponent misplaying. I mean, I think that was a misplay from my opponent's side, but alright, let's see. Bring out the Crab. I mean, I gotta go for a misplay on my opponent's end and hope that like I crit the Scizor. It's basically the only hope I have. So, in the ideal world, they stay in with Tyranitar. They go for a Bug Bite here, but yeah, they should switch to Intim for the Intimidate. I don't think they should protect the Scizor. I think you should always just attack here, because it's not like Fake Out's doing anything here. All right, we need a Mega Crit. If we get a Mega Crit into the Scizor, we get the KO. They didn't protect. The Drain Punch unfortunately does not crit, so we would have KO'd if they stayed in, but sure. They Bug Bite the Farigiraf here, yep. And now it's game over. I tried. I think I played well for the most part. I could have Drain Punched the Incin maybe on that one turn where I switched down to Farigiraf because the Farigiraf switch was obvious. But here's the thing. I think I would have been in a terrible position against Tyranitar plus Scizor regardless. I would have still probably had to go Incin. I would have probably still had the Heat Wave. But it's like the same numbers, right? Because then I still have to deal with the Rock Slide flinch or Rock Slide crit from the Tyranitar, and then I'll still have to Fake Out the Scizor as I attempt to Trick Room, and if I get flinched there, I still lose regardless. So yeah, that's kind of weakness of Hard Trick Room. Also, like, I'm trying to forfeit. Okay, there we go. I was like about to say, but yeah, that's the problem with Hard Trick Room. Rock Slide, and if they have a threat next to it that you have to respect, you can't Fake Out and prevent the RNG, unfortunately. So how was the team? I think the team, as I mentioned, with a lot of Hard Trick Room teams, it is pretty powerful if you are able to sweep under the Trick Room and of course set up the Trick Room. It's really effective if you get a lot of the targets right, because sometimes you have to guess between which slot is going to protect, which slot is going to switch out, and you really have to nail those punishes, otherwise they can sell out the Trick Room, and then you've taken damage and it can be pretty tough to use otherwise. However, felt like it was pretty strong. The Crab was really nice coverage wise, the Ice Hammer, Drain Punch, and Thunder Punch. And I really feel like, other than of course the standard way of losing with Trick Room, which is either double protects or like Rock Slide flinches, which yeah, those did happen I think in the losses that we had. I think it is a pretty strong team still, and it does have a lot of tools that it does have access to. If you'd like to try it out, you can try it out with the rental code on your screen here. Otherwise, you can check out the details of the team in the creator down below description. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.